As a fan of Christopher Nolan, I didn't know that he had another level as a filmmaker, but then I saw The Odyssey last night, and I walked in expecting another great Christopher Nolan movie, but then I walked out of the theater thinking to myself, I just witnessed something very special. This is my spoiler-free review of The Odyssey, a film that I truly think is a masterpiece. Man, let me tell y'all something. I was not prepared for what I witnessed last night. First off, I've seen all of his films, and we all know that he's incredible. He knows how to do scope, scale. He has mind-bending storytelling, but what completely caught me off guard with The Odyssey, it just showed me another side of Christopher Nolan that I have never seen before. Let's talk about the things I wasn't expecting from this film and talk about the tone a little bit. As a lifelong fan of the horror genre, I can confirm that The Odyssey at times is a horror film. The Cyclops sequence was a lot longer than I anticipated, and it was horrifying, and I loved every single second of it. Speaking of loving something, my favorite scene involves Cersei. There's a transformation of the sorts that reminded me so much of American Werewolf in London. The practicality, chef's kiss. The psychological horror elements, the practical effects were just truly unbelievable. We have the sirens, which was hypnotic and terrifying, the sea creatures, the whirlpool sequence, the journey into the underworld. All these sequences were filled with dread, suspense, and had me completely locked in. I never knew that Christopher Nolan was going to maybe become a horror director and do these horrific filmmaking elements, and I was absolutely here for it. Here's another surprise. I always used to think that the action scenes by Christopher Nolan were some of the weakest areas in his filmmaking. Like, his action scenes are always good, but they sometimes felt like stiff compared to everything else that he does so exceptionally well. But it wasn't the case with this film. The battles here are massive. They're brutal and violent, emotional, and just beautifully captured and choreographed. Every fight feels like you can feel the weight and the consequences. And then that all goes into not just the filmmaking, but performances. Let's talk about Matt Damon, who gives what I think is one of his best performances of his already great career. His journey as Odysseus completely pulled me in. You feel every ounce of his exhaustion, his guilt, his determination and love to getting back home. Anne Hathaway is fantastic. Robert Pattinson is incredible. Samantha Morton steals the moment with her scene as Cersei. Zendaya, John Leguizamo, Hamish Patel, John Bernthal, Lupita Nyong'o, Elliot Page. Everyone brought their A game. Speaking of A game, Ludwig's score is on another level. It's another MVP of this film. There are multiple moments where the music alone just grips you emotionally. It doesn't just support the story, it becomes part of the story. And thematically speaking, the movie has so much to say. It's about the cost of war, the meaning of home, redemption, identity, family, and what it really means to be remembered. I was just so blown away by all the spectacle and the journey we go on, but underneath all the spectacle is a deeply human story. Now, I do have some criticisms. First and foremost, I thought the opening took a little bit for me to find its rhythm because we were just thrown right into the story. And speaking of story, I thought that some of the present day storylines weren't as engaging as what we're going on this incredible journey with Odysseus. I didn't mention Tom earlier, but I thought that he was good overall, but there were a few emotional scenes where I just didn't think he quite reached the levels of the rest of the phenomenal cast that are in part of this film. He's good, but he just wasn't great. You all can check out my full review where we dive more deeper and really analyze the things that worked and didn't work for me in this movie, but I'll end by saying this. The last 30 minutes are perfect. It is one of the most rewarding, satisfying, downright badass finales of any Christopher Nolan film to date. This movie is not only my favorite film of the year so far, but I do think that it is Christopher Nolan's best film. I cannot believe the accomplishment from everyone involved, from front of the camera, behind the camera. If you get the opportunity, see this in IMAX. I think it is essential to really take in this grandiose storytelling. What accomplishment by everyone involved. What a movie. It is a special time to be alive, to be able to witness Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. I can't wait to hear what you all thought about this film. I have more videos coming out soon discussing the rankings of Christopher Nolan, some of my favorite moments of the film. But again, this was special, and I can't wait to hear what you all think about it. In the meantime, to hear more of my thoughts about not just The Odyssey, but other films that we get excited for, consider subscribing and following for more.